I can't wait to show you guys how to make these cool DIY witchy spell candles. We're going to use this one for a spell to manifest wealth and success. And of course, I'm going to announce the 10 winners of my 10,000 subscribers giveaway. Even if you're not one of the winners, we're going to make some cool candles together. And I have a free download for all the designs that you see on these candles. Stick around to the end for a really cool bonus from all of my Etsy shops, you guys. Coming up next. Welcome to the Witch's Studio. Today it's the Witch's Dining Room. I am, of course, Mickey Mueller, author, illustrator, and witch, not necessarily in that order. And today I'm going to show you a really cool method for making some gorgeous witchy candles. You can use them for spells, you can use them for decor. They make really nice gifts. And we're even going to walk through using one of them for a wealth and success spell. If this is the kind of thing that you are really into, then you're in the right place. Just hit the subscribe button and cast a spell on the notification bell so that you'll always know when I upload a new video. Before we go any further, I have to make a really important announcement. 10 really important announcements, because we did a huge giveaway for my 10,000 subscribers milestone. So let's go over to my laptop where I will use the random name generator, why is that so hard to say? And choose the 10 winners for the 10 items that I showed you guys in my last video. Let's go. Phoenix Chibi won the Magical Almanac 2022. Victoria Lenz won the Witch's Wand. Freya won the Witch's Altar Book. Farron Adelaide Studio won the Witch's Mirror. Jennifer Masters won the Eclectic Witch's Book of Shadows. Terry Lynn won the Black Salt. Reese Fewell won the Lavender Wands and a bag of lavender. Danny Hastings won the Palmistry hand. Danny, I haven't painted that yet, so let me know if you want a black hand with white symbols or a white hand with black symbols, and I'll paint it right up for you. Brian and Travis won the Pendulum board with the crystal pendulum. And the Botanical Witch won the Cicada necklace. That's the twin to my cicada necklace. Congratulations to all of the winners. I am so happy for you guys. Watch your DMs. I will be sending you a private message on either Instagram or Facebook, whichever one you chose to use on your entry in the contest. And I'll get your mailing address so that I can get your prizes shipped right off to you. Now I've got something really cool for everybody out there, because nobody leaves empty-handed when I do a giveaway. I'm super excited to show you guys how I made these really cool candles. Now the candles I didn't make. I bought the candles, but I added the artwork to them. And if you love the artwork that you see here, I have a free printable down in the description box. This is all artwork that is hand-drawn by myself. And I'm giving you permission to use these for any of your candles that you want, as long as it's for personal use. So make sure that you grab that free printable. And then I'm going to show you how to actually put them right onto the candle. It's a really cool technique, you guys. I found that it was fairly easy to do, but if you decide that you prefer not to do them this way, you can also use these same designs to cut out and just stick it on the front of any jar candle and use them that way too. The first time that I saw this technique used, it was by Little Cosmic Crow over on her YouTube channel. I'll put a link right up here so that you guys can check her video out as well. And she also said in her video that she did not make up this technique either. She learned it from Nava Rose, and I'll also leave a link to both Little Cosmic Crow and Nava Rose down in the description box too, so that if you want to watch 2 other videos on the same technique, you can. Sometimes when I'm learning how to do something new, I like to watch several videos so that I have an idea of how to do it. but I will try to give you guys a very good step-by-step so that you can make some of these yourself. I think they're really cool. I think you guys will enjoy them, and they're so Instagrammable, right? All right, come on along and I'll show you how I made them. Okay, so first I'm going to show you all the stuff I used to make these. These candles, you guys, I got those from the dollar store. You can use fancier candles if you want. Maybe you want to hand pour your own even. I decided also to try a vanilla candle because it wasn't pure white. I'm not sure how this will work on colored candles, but I figured we'll give it a try. I also used tissue paper. Now this is the tissue paper from the dollar store, my handy dandy glue stick, and I also used tape. You're going to need both of those items. A pen, which doesn't have to be as fancy as my pen. Wax paper. This also came from the dollar store, so it's really inexpensive if you need to buy supplies. You're going to need a blow dryer that goes onto a hot setting, and I used cardstock paper for mine. It might work with regular thin paper, but I opted for cardstock because I knew for a fact it would go through my printer better. So the first thing that I did was grab a ruler, and I'm going to measure off a piece of that tissue paper. It's going to be 7.5 inches by 10 inches. Even though the piece of paper I'm going to be putting it on, the computer printer paper, is 8.5 by 11, because I want this to be a little bit smaller. I'll show you why in just a minute. So just mark it off with your ruler. If you do it on a corner like I did, you'll only have to make 2 cuts instead of 4, and it's easier to keep it nice and square. Now you just cut it out with a pair of scissors. Did I mention you need scissors? You need scissors. If you're using the same kind of tissue that I'm using, there's 2 sides. One is a little bit shinier, as you'll see here. It's a little shiny. It's got kind of a coating on it. And yeah, you can kind of see how shiny it is there. The other side is very matte finish. That matte finish side, that's the side that you want up, the shiny side against the paper, if there's a difference in the tissue paper that you're using. Now, I found that if I anchor the corners to the cardstock with a little bitty square of tape, it helped me to make sure that it stays nice and flat, because that's the key to this. You want that tissue paper to be as flat against that cardstock as you can get it. And you can see it's loose there, and while that might be enough to hold it going through your printer, I'm not taking any chances on my printer. I don't recommend that you guys do either. So I went ahead and added a nice long strip of tape around the whole outside of that tissue paper because, you know, I'd rather use a little extra tape than have to deal with pulling tissue paper out of my printer. Your girl's not playing any games with this stuff. Also, make sure that no tape goes off the edge of that paper. And now upstairs to the printer. You'll have to figure out what side of the paper needs to go in your printer. Mine is a bottom loading, so generally it comes up and curves around like that. So you put the paper in upside down with the side you want to print on to the bottom. If you have a top loading printer, it probably you put it so that you can see the side that's going to actually print on. You might run a test sheet just to see how it lines up first on regular paper before you use this one, and then just put it into your printer like you would any other sheet of paper. So now you're going to pull up the image onto your computer, just like I have here, and Control-P print. Make sure it is in the portrait mode and not landscape, which I did here, and hit print. I will also have ideas for spells that you can do with all the different candle designs. That'll be down in the description below. So if you're wondering what different kinds of magic you can use that money, wealth, and success sigil for, or say, you know, you want to use the raven or the snake, and you're like, what kind of spells can I use those for? I'll have lots of ideas. And there's how it turned out. Pretty darn cool. So now we're going to go ahead and start cutting it out. I'm cutting it out right on the cardstock, the first one that I did, as you can see. And there's the tissue. It just comes right off of there. Now you want to cut nice and close to your design as you can. So I grabbed a smaller pair of scissors because I thought that's going to work a little bit better. Before I start putting together my Wealth and Success candle, I want to cut one more of these out because I want to show you guys a different way that you can cut it. But that's going to work out really nice, as you can see. So I decided to go ahead and cut out that raven one, and I'm just going to cut kind of generally big shape around it, and I'm going to remove that cardstock and cut just the tissue. Now the key to this, having great kindergarten skills that I do, is you want to hold the scissors in a position that's comfortable for you and turn the item that you're cutting, as you can see. That can help you get nice and close to the edge and be really accurate as you go. The little places like the beak there, I just cut straight across, and I will come back to that when I'm finished. So it doesn't have to be all in one little cut. And there we'll get the beak. And as you can see, it's not too hard. That's about as close to the edge as you need to get. So that worked out really well. Now this is where the spell crafting element takes place. Spell crafting and spell crafting all at the same time. So first I'm going to put this sticky glue all over the back of this sigil. And that is my intention, to draw in and have whatever wealth and success I want stick to it. So you use a sticky thing like that. Plus it also is holding it into place. So it's attracting and also keeping it where it needs to be for the process of putting this candle together. Now I'm going to grab that wax paper and get just a big enough piece that I can wrap it around that candle. You're going to wind up with a little bit of extra at the back, but you want that because that's how you're going to hold that wax paper nice and tight against that candle. You want it really tight. Now at this point, you want to start really focusing your energy on your outcome of your spell. You're going to visualize what you want as you turn on your blow dryer and turn it on hot, because that's generating a lot of energy. So you might as well use that and focus it towards your spell. This takes a little bit, but as I'm doing that, I'm thinking about what I want to manifest, focusing on my outcome and not lack. You want to focus on the energy of having success and having wealth. Very important. I also decided to use the chant as I went, which is this: wealth and success are mine by moon and sun and stars that shine. And I repeated that over and over. That's what's written in Theban around the outside of the circle. So vocalizing that brings it even more into manifestation. Now here you can see it's begun to get very glossy, and the black has gotten a little bit darker. That means you're done. And all you need to do is peel off that wax paper. That design has basically become part of the candle because the wax is coating over the top of the paper, and it's made it so that it's all blended together. It looks so cool, and I am just loving this. Now I've decided to anoint my candle with oil. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. I'm using patchouli oil, but also I'm using my beautiful and talented friend White Raven's Lucky Dragon oil, because this stuff packs a punch. And you know what? You can always use a little luck adding to your spell. If you guys are interested in this beautiful oil that's very powerful and smells fantastic, I will put her link below. Now I am anointing the top of the candle with that Lucky Dragon oil first, and I'm going in a clockwise direction, which is to build up. And then I'm going to use my patchouli oil, which is just an oil that I like to use for financial success spells, and I'm going to also circle that in a clockwise motion as well. And then I got the idea that I thought I want to try going around the sides of the candle. So there's lots of different ways to anoint a candle, but I decided to do it in a spiral going from the top to the bottom, which is bringing that energy in and downwards. I want to bring financial wealth and I want to bring success to myself, so I'm drawing in. And then I charge the candle some more with that chant, that I told you about earlier. That chant will be in the description below. Now, I decided to put it on my little altar. I'm using a purple base for the candle for kind of a royalty energy. And then I'm surrounding it with symbols of wealth and success. I started with mint from my garden. I've got some herbs in my garden right now, so I thought I might as well use them fresh, and some basil. You can also use dried. I have several coins that were given to me by my friend when she went traveling. Thank you, Sandy. And I also have some stones that I'm going to use. Just so you know, you can use any wealth and success correspondences that you want to. You don't have to do this spell exactly the way that I did. In fact, you should shake it up. I chose to use tiger eye. I have a little green jasper. And these were just stones that I happen to have. If you have different stones, that's okay. I used some malachite. That's a rough malachite, but I love the energy of it. Green aventurine, which is also really good for wealth and success both. I've had that one for years. I'm using acorns because I oftentimes use acorns in my prosperity and success spells. And I'm also using a key. The idea of the key is to open doors for you. So I'm putting the key there next to it as well. And the idea is that all of those correspondences will just add extra energy to the candle as it burns. The way that I like to work with pillar candles, they're kind of like the slow cooker of candle magic, whereas a small spell candle, little chime candles, burn down fast, wham bam, and it's done. This one kind of is more like a long game kind of energy. Pillar candles are great for long-term goals, and I usually try to burn one for at least an hour every day. From a practical standpoint, it just takes a really long time to burn a pillar candle. So it's better just to move it from place to place, keep an eye on it, because that has paper on it, you guys. So you want to make sure that you keep a close eye on this kind of a candle. But if you just burn it for like an hour every day and then put it out, you could put it out in any way that works with your tradition. You can either snuff it out, or you can pinch it out, you can blow it out. None of these ways are wrong. It just depends on what your belief and tradition is around candle burning. This was the first one that I made. I just wanted to try out the technique and make sure it worked well before I shared it with you guys. I worked this candle for about a week. It went with me room to room because I wanted to find out if that paper would ever catch on fire. It never did. So I feel pretty safe about these candles. However, I went ahead and lit it myself on purpose because I just wanted to see what would happen and to make sure that you guys would understand. Do not leave these candles unattended. Keep an eye on them at all times. And that is why. So just keep an eye on them. Make sure they're in a safe place. Make sure they're away from all flammable items. Basically, just follow proper candle safety procedures and you'll be fine. With a pillar candle, you will end up with a lot of wax at the end. You can dispose of that any way you like. If you want to go bury it at a crossroads, feel free. If you want to just throw it away, that's fine. I personally recycle mine. I always take the stump that's left over and put it in a bag marked with the intention that I used. In other words, stumps from healing candles go in a bag marked healing, stumps from protection candles go in a bag marked protection, and then I melt those down and make new candles out of them. Okay, you guys stuck around till the end, and you know what that means? That means I have a bonus for you. When I reached my 10,000 subs, Dan, my husband, had a great idea. He watches every single one of these videos and sees your guys' wonderful comments, and he just thinks you guys are as awesome as I do. The only difference is he's not an on-camera guy, he's an off-camera guy. So, but he came up with this really nice idea. He suggested that we should do a coupon code for everybody. Since 10,000 subscribers, we're going to give everybody 10% off for the next week in all of our Etsy shops. The last day to use this coupon code will be on the full moon, August 22nd, 2021. After that date, this coupon code will no longer work, but we wanted to put it out there for you guys just as a way to say thank you for just being there on this journey with me. The coupon code is Studio Coven 2021. I will put it right here. I'll also put it down in the description. And if you scroll all the way down in the bottom of the description, you'll find my link tree, and that will link you to all of my Etsy shops. I have more than one because I have so much artwork that I can't put it all into one shop because it would just be too confusing for everybody. So it's separated out into the Mickey Mueller Studio Shop. I have Voice of the Trees Oracle, which is all the art from my Voice of the Trees deck. I have Mystical Cats Tarot. I have Magical Dogs Tarot, which is the tarot deck that I created with my husband Dan, who's giving us this great coupon code. And then there's also Naked Man Press, which is a little shop that contains odds and ends, funky, weird, eclectic stuff. A lot of it's designs that we created from public domain art. Our son Tristan's designed some of the artwork in that shop. There's a lot of vintage designs, some really cool, funky, fun stuff over there. So this coupon code will work in all of those shops. Again, it's Studio Coven 2021. And make sure you use it before the full moon, August 22nd, 2021. I'll keep it up that evening, but it will disappear magically when the sun comes up. I want to thank everybody for joining me here today on my channel. If you learned something new, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Also, feel free to share this video out with your witchy friends. They might like to learn how to make some cool candles too. And maybe you guys could put your heads together, and any of you who are artists, you could come up with some of your own designs and use the same technique. So you could have some really cool custom candles on your altar. If you post pictures of candles that you've made using my downloads, make sure you tag me because I would love to see them. I'm at Mickey Mueller. You can also use hashtag Studio Coven. If you want to know how to be a member of Studio Coven? Have you hit the subscribe button? Because that's all you have to do. Once you're subscribed, then you're a Studio Coven person. And you can use that hashtag anytime that you want to share magic that you've learned here or any other magic on social media. Thanks again for joining me here, you guys. I hope that you had a good time. I had a good time here with you. Here are a couple more videos that I think you'll really enjoy, and I will see you here next time. Until then, stay safe, happy, and healthy. And remember, as always, to be your magic. Bye, everybody.